Hey guys, so I'm going to start the Brownells giveaway build. I'm going to do it in two parts. I'm going to start with the lower and then build the upper. So let's get to it. Okay guys, so I have everything ready to go to build the lower receiver. Starting over here, we have the Magpul stock, the ALG buffer tube, the QD plate, the rear QD plate, and the buffer tube nut, the buffer, and the buffer spring. This is the Brownells color-coded lower parts kit. And then we have the Battle Arms lower receiver, the Battle Arms ambi selector, and the Geisley super dynamic enhanced trigger, as well as the Battle Arms magazine release. And then we have the Magpul magazines with the Brownells Terran mag bases. And then over here we just have some tools from Brownells to kind of help me put it all together. So it should be fun. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna start with is the front receiver pivot pin. And I'm gonna grab the Brownells lower receiver parts kit and look for that part. It's in the white bag. So that's a white bag and should be in here. And that's this right here. So it can be difficult to install the front pivot detent and spring into the receiver. So Brownells gave me a tool that's going to help me with that. It's a pivot tool. All right, so first I'm going to put the front pivot tool in. I'm going to match the holes up and put the spring in first. And then the detent. And punch it down. Turn it. And now it's kind of locked in there. And you want to get your pin. You want to match it up so that that spring can go right in there. Alright, first part is installed. So now we have the rear pivot pin, the detent, and the spring. And this one actually has a screw that comes with a tool. You can take the screw out. And then we're going to put those parts in. We're going to put the pivot pin in first, and you want to line it up so the detent can slide in it. You can kind of feel that it locks it in place. And then this is the tricky part. So we kind of have to press the spring down and then screw it in. Okay. Okay. Go. Alright, so now I'm going to install the magazine catch on the Brownells lower receiver parts kit. It says it's in the blue bag, so I got the blue bag out. And dump out all the parts here. So these parts I'm not going to use because it's a trigger guard and we already have one on the lower. So we'll just put that off. Alright, so now we're gonna put this part in first and then we'll put the spring. And then you wanna, there's a smooth side and a rough side. You want the rough side to be on the outside because that's the part you're gonna press when you release the magazine. So that looks good. You don't want any of the spring showing or anything. And you can test it out. Yep. Okay, on to the next step. Alright, so next we're going to do the bolt catch or the bolt release. And those parts are going to be in the yellow bag. So we'll get that out. And this comes with a pin, but we're not going to use it because this already has a screw. So we can put that aside. And we'll take the screw out first. And then we're going to put the spring in. And then the detent. And we're just going to slide that in. There's a little hole there, you can feel it. And then you can screw this in. Okay. And there it is. Okay, so that's on there. It was pretty convenient to have a screw instead of a pin, so it went on fairly easy. Okay, so now I'm going to install the Geisley trigger. And it has the helper pin in it. I'm just going to put it straight down. I just want to line the pin up. Okay. Okay, so I think we're getting somewhere now. Okay, so now I'm going to install the hammer. Okay, my hammer's in place. Okay, so now I'm going to push the pin through. finally got that pin in place. Took me a few tries, so that was kind of tricky, but I got it. Okay, so now I'm going to install the safety selector. Alright, so now I'm going to install the safety selector detent, the safety selector spring, and the grip. So I'm just going to put the detent in first. I'm going to put the spring in here. And there's a screw in here. I'm just going to screw that in. Okay. And this should be all to rotate. Okay, so this looks pretty good. Let's see how it functions. Looks pretty good. So now I'm going to install the buffer tube and the end plate. Just going to put this on here. I'm going to put the spring in first, and then the retainer. I'm just going to screw this on here. Okay. So I'm just gonna push this flat on there and then screw this in to secure it. Like that. Okay, so now I'm just going to make sure everything's tight, and I'm going to use this tool that only goes on one way. I'm just going to tighten it up. And that way it's really on there. And there we go. Okay, so here is the final product. Overall, it took me about an hour to put together. There were a few tricky parts. For me in particular, one part was the hammer and pushing the pin through. It took me quite a few tries to get that. Other than that, it was pretty straightforward. So if this is something that you're looking to do. It's definitely doable for someone that doesn't really have a lot of experience building guns. And I look forward to part 2. I'm going to be building the upper. So thank you for watching, and hope you guys watch the next video.